Well, alrighty. So Ava DuVernay is already predicting that her upcoming movie, Origin, that is a biopic on Isabel Wilkins, is going to fail. Now, this woman has been notoriously known for having so many failed projects. She's a walking, talking disaster for Hollywood, as it were. However, as you do in Hollywood, when you have the infinity stones of wokeness that they need, she's black, she's a woman, so she's marginalized, at least two infinity stones of wokeness. You get to fail upwards, pretty much like we've seen with other people who are minorities in Hollywood, regardless of whatever project they do, like Mindy Kaling, for instance. No matter how bad her projects are, she keeps getting more and more projects, and she keeps getting, promoted in Hollywood. In any case, Ava DuVernay is going beyond the norm that we've constantly seen in Hollywood in terms of how they usually make movies that are filled with diversity, equity, and inclusion, and they prioritize identity politics and representation. When they put those movies out and those movies eventually fail because they have bad storylines or just boring or things that are anti-factual, right? Basically, they go ahead and blame people and call you racist, sexist, and whatnot. However, Ava DuVernay is doing something way different than that. She's already predicting the failure of an upcoming movie, that this movie is going to fail, and then she's blaming the fans for it. Check this out. Ava DuVernay says racism and sexism to blame for the audiences being more excited about Oppenheimer than her Isabel Wilkerson biopic story. So I have a few things to say about this, because this is a narrative that I know it does relate with a lot of people. It does resonate with a lot of black people out there who feel that everything that happens to them, every shortcoming, is because of the white man. See, she could have compared her movie with any other movie out there that is closer to relating to her movie, but she decided to compare it to a movie that the main star of the movie happens to be a white man. The storyline is surrounded in history of an actual white man, and her storyline of her movie is the biopic of a black woman. So, according to their narrative, white men oppress black people and oppress even more black women, right? So let's hear her reasoning behind how she came up about this movie, because I want to respond to some of the things that she said regarding how she came up with this movie, so that you guys can get a clear understanding of the kind of person that this woman is, and also for you to know that the narrative that they are trying to push coming out of Hollywood actually isn't true. And the reason why I want to do this is because we hear this narrative not just from Hollywood, we hear it from the mainstream media, we hear it from schools and stuff, and it does affect a whole lot of people, making them think that they are oppressed, whereas in real life these things do not translate into real life. White people don't just generally hate black people as they are being touted to be. Like, some books are out there saying that all white people are just kind of racist. They have to learn how to be an anti-racist. It's insane. But in any case, let's just get into it. I'm going to share my opinion as we go along. Please feel free to share your opinion in that comment section below. Without further ado, here we go. So, speaking on her upcoming film, to Variety's Angelica Jackson, the woman once attached to the DC Helms film, God's Film Explained. Now, she's lost her contract with DC. DC parted ways with her because she's been making failed project after failed project, including Naomi, a superhero that was created simply based on identity politics and representation. The people that created that cartoon or that comic book actually said that, and the comic book was a failed comic book. The series also failed after the first season. Then she goes on to say it's a biopic. This is what she's trying to explain about her upcoming movie. She said it's a biographical it has some biographical elements. So in some ways it's a biopic. In some ways it's a docudrama, which means it's fiction. In some ways it's just straight up adaptation of these really beautiful and tragic moments in history, which means you're going to twist the history to suit your own narrative, make it seem very much more tragical than it actually is. Now she goes on to say the goal was to try to stitch together a tapestry to create a quilt. That's how I think of it, and allow myself to color outside the lines of what I've been told, she told Jackson, just to throw all that out and then tell the story from my gut. And it came from reading this book. So basically what you want to do is the same thing that we've seen being done about black women in Hollywood more recently, especially when you talk about the Viola Davis movies, the Woman King, right? The Woman King, they actually changed the storyline of a certain group of women in Africa that built an empire based on slave trade. They were the soldiers of a certain village called the Agoje village. They built an empire based on slavery, and they were eventually stopped by the French, I think, or the English, by white people. basically, to end slavery. They didn't want to end it. However, when they made the Woman King movie, they tried to portray them as the heroes of the story, that they were the ones fighting to end slavery. Of course, black Americans are not dumb at all. They found out, and, black Twitter went crazy about that, and these are the reasons why they didn't sell. However, Viola Davis came out to say, well, if you don't watch my movie, you are racist and sexist, and you hate black female excellence, even though your black female excellence was based on a lie. They've done the same thing with Cleopatra, trying to steal the actual history of the Egyptians themselves and turn it into black African history, which I don't know why, but these are the same narrative that we've continued to see. And when you call them out, they'll say you're racist, sexist, and bigoted. And how do I know that this woman is actually going to change this to fit a certain narrative? Well, of course, if you take a look at one of the tweets that she put out there last year, the kind of person that this woman is, she was responding to a tweet from Stephen King. Now, this is what Stephen King said, and he gained a lot of respect from me as a person. Stephen King said, I would never consider diversity in matters of art. And that's the truth. Only quality. It seems to me that to do otherwise would be wrong. However, she, Ava DuVernay, responded by saying, when you wake up, meditate, stretch, reach for your phone to check on the world and see a tweet from someone you admire that is so backwards and ignorant, you want to go back to bed. Now, to further show you the kind of person that this woman is, outright racist towards white people. She's not hiding it because, in the world that we live in today, they say black people can punch upwards, so she can freely be racist. She said, everyone has the right to their opinion. And we black producers with hiring power have the right to hire those who diminish us. Who's diminishing you? So this is the same narrative that they continue to push. And I will tell you from my own personal experience, it's a lie. Like currently I'm working at a factory, right? And I'm trying to move upwards. And I can guarantee you guys, the person that actually helped me to get that job was a white person and was kind of like, I don't know. I don't even know this guy from Adam. I was a full-time Uber driver for a while, and I needed a job just to get back into the industry because I didn't want to do a certain thing that was going on about 2-3 years ago, so I quit my old job. So now I wanted to get back into the industry after that whole hula baloo was over. And this is where I landed. I couldn't get a job. However, a stranger that I did not know, who's not the same color as I am, actually helped me with a job. And the funny thing about that was that he helped me get this job, and 2 days later he got fired from the job for coming to work drinking or something. I don't know. So what's my point? My point is that the world isn't racist, but this is what these people want to do. They want to make you think that the world is racist. Of course, there are racist people, but the world isn't as racist as these people want to make it. And racism is not something that can oppress or suppress the power of anybody, black people or any minority out there at all. In any case, but this is how this woman thinks. She clearly wants to just, revenge against white people. She goes on to say, so to the white man in this thread, if you don't get that job you were up for, kindly remember, bias can go both ways. This is 2020. So this was from 3 years ago because someone talked about, today a black film editor posted on in Facebook group for Hollywood editors looking to connect with other black editors as there is severe underrepresentation in post-production and they can be hard to find. What ensued is a slew of white editors who immediately, applied. And this is the thing, right? They're putting it out there for black editors to apply, but a slew of white people applied. The reality of it is this: if I'm looking for somebody to work for me, I don't care what color that person is. People who, can see things, a different way, they don't see things through the color of race, they will apply. People who are not seeing things through the lens of race, they would apply. Even if that job says strictly it's for these people, they will try their luck. And this is what I want black people to also realize, that if you do the same, you will find the same result. If a slew of black people applied for that job, there's a chance that some of them will get it. The ones that merit the job will get it. And that's the world that we are living in today. In any case, following further discussions regarding her time working on the film, DuVernay was eventually pressed by Jackson. What does it take to get the audience to watch a movie like Origin? Now, the Jackson continued by saying, because midway through, I realized this is a process film. The reporter elaborated on her initial question. A movie about someone making something I just had a conversation about, she said. which I loved. And I was frustrated because it feels when there is processed films about women and women of color, people are not intrigued. That's an absolute lie. Have you ever seen Hidden Figures? Hidden Figures is about 3 black women. And these were 3 real black women mathematicians who were actually pivotal in the starting of the space program by NASA in the 60s because they wanted to put a man on the moon before Russians did. Yeah, 3 black women were pivotal in actually making that space program happen. Whether they put a man on the moon or not, I really don't know, but those 3 women were very pivotal, and that was back then when there was more racial tension and challenges than today when, you know, black people actually have more power than they claim to admit that they have. In any case, after saying that, which we clearly know, that movie Hidden Figure about those 3 black women actually made 12.8 times the amount of money that it was invested in it. The budget was about $25 million. However, it made over $230 million, even though it had a limited release initially for about 3 weeks, and then it had a full release about 3 weeks later. So basically, this narrative that, oh, if something centered around black women, it doesn't move, that's an absolute lie. Remember Us by Lupita Nyong'o as well? That also blew up. It had about a budget of what? 25 million or thereabouts, centered around a black woman, Lupita Nyong'o, right, for Us, right? And that movie made over 200 and something million dollars. If your movie has a good storyline, it doesn't matter if it's a black, white, Hispanic person. What about Black Panther? Centered around a black woman, right? It's a process movie as well, right? That movie was 3 hours I would never get back. But in any case, it made what, 950 million or 850 million dollars with a 250 million dollars budget, right? So don't come about telling me that, oh, people just won't like your movie. No, her movies are horrible, are horrendous. Everything she puts her hand on are absolutely horrendous. But this is what she had to respond with. She said, you're right. The director affirmed in reply. It's challenging to watch a process film about a man making a bomb. He's a man who was trying to do something and couldn't quite describe it to anybody else, but he knew it. Isabel is a woman who knows something and can't quite describe it, but she knew it, and she's going to find out. So you want to compare a man who created the atom bomb that changed the course of World War II to a woman who wrote an autobiography or some article or something and won a Pulitzer Prize for it. Now, I'm not taking away from her achievement. Her achievement is fantastic and wonderful, right? And, you know, it was a groundbreaking time for black women, especially in journalism and all that. I don't want to take it away from her, but just comparing those 2 things, it just doesn't match. It's apples to oranges, like I said, or steaks to olives, or probably cakes to spinach. So basically, for these people coming out to still do this, still try to guilt people into watching their movie, no matter how boring and crappy it is, there's nothing appealing about it. I actually saw the trailer of this movie. There's nothing appealing about this movie at all. For you to still be trying at this day and age, regardless of how many times they've tried in Hollywood to try to get butts in seats, by actually calling out the fans and saying that the fans are racist, sexist, bigoted, and all the isms, is not working. And for you to continue to do this, Ava DuVernay, to me is just absolutely pathetic because people are wiser. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, ding that bell for notification, and I'll catch you guys later. Take care, peace, and Zayas out. Bye-bye.